and share your thoughts. We will start with the public comment at this time. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less total. Mr. Washington, do you have some comments you would like to make for us today?
Yes, Michael Washington. I mean, comments on what? I mean, just citizens be heard, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, what we have? Just general? Okay, so I'm not actually addressing my
You
two.
can speak on any of the agenda items that you're with at this time. This is the only time that we're gonna have you stand up.
Oh, my goodness, no,
3
no, no,
minutes
no.
and let us know
This is
anything
a
you
violation,
have
I'm
regarding
speaking, ma'am.
this.
This is a violation of our fundamental right to due process, ma'am. So what you want us to do then is to address these issues prior to you discussing them. So in other words, you already have a predetermined nation that you're gonna approve something already, regardless of what we're saying. So this is just merely a going through process then, right? That's not due process. We first of all have to hear what you people have to say, then decide after we hear from you. You might say a chicken is green, I might get up and say, well, the chicken is brown. However, if I say the chicken is brown now, I wouldn't have heard that you said the chicken is green. So what I'm trying to tell you then is I'm wasting myself and my time and not really giving you any access to understand of why we're sitting here today. So again, I signed up for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I got to do all of them right now? I don't see it there. I don't see item 1.
Minute and a half remaining, yes.
Yes, okay, now, I don't see all of, like say, item 1 and all this. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. This is ludicrous. This is insanity. And you people all need to be fired. And you, Mr. John Williams, allowing this stuff to go on, you being an attorney, you know this is not due process of law. This is just simply going through the process or through the motion. Right? Now, how am I gonna already say something? And then y'all go, oh, wait, y'all heard what they said. Are we gonna vote now? Come on, man, that's not fairness. You know what? That's tyranny and injustice. You need to be on the same thing, just like this guy Donald Trump is doing tomorrow. Hasta la vista, baby. Your 4 years is nice. Now you gone, has been, wanna be, will I be, did you see? That's right. And go if anybody else is up there, and I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, if you're done wrong and you're doing people wrong, you need to pay the consequences. This is not a public meeting. You know what this is? This is a satanic meeting that's designed to cripple the minds of the people who seek to know. We're not engaged in any involvement of what's going on here. All we're here is just to just hold up space. I don't know what items you want to speak. You should be speaking first instead of me speaking now. And then I should be able to come back and say this, that, and other. And I want to tell y'all one thing. Either get this thing together, look at this face. I know I'm not handsome, but I'm a human being. Look at this face. We will start filing civil rights litigations against you. I've said this before. Y'all know I don't play. Go and look at the county records, state records, and all that. If I have to divert my attention, you got my time coming down here. Believe me, we're going to have fun. And I mean that. This is a mockery of justice. This is frivolous, disregarding, disconcerting, and definitely depressing that you people would have the audacity to come up and say, we want you to speak now. We want applesauce, we want potato chips. We're going to say goodbye, but I'll be back.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. Ron Wise, please. Welcome.
I won't belabor the fact that the rules have again been changed. I think a lot of the times we probably would be a lot more peaceful and calm if the rules would just be consistent, but I won't belabor that too much. I'm standing here before you again to address an issue that's been going on for the last several months, both as a country and individually as a state and a county as well. The COVID problem, as well as the overpopulation problem, have been dovetailing and have created a disaster. There is no reason that our jail should be so overpopulated that the quarantine procedures that we have routinely discussed during these meetings can't actually be enforced. There is no reason for anyone to die in our jail because of COVID. That shouldn't be happening. So if we're going to be a top 10 state, we shouldn't be in top 10 in deaths in the jail. That is ridiculous. As well, we have a 14-year-old, a 15-and-a-half-year-old, by the name of Christopher Goodery, who has been in prison for the last 2.5 years of his life. As of right now, he cannot visit any of his family members. We have reason to believe that there's been several different things that have happened while he's been in our jail that have been entirely inappropriate. So the fact that we have children that we're sending to jail, not only do we have ICE that we are bringing to our jail to victimize children, even people who have full citizenship in our state are still being victimized by the same people that we entrust to uphold their safety while they're in DOC and our jail confines. So I say all that to say, one of the agenda items, I think it was agenda item 5, was talking about reducing jail population. Release all children in the jail. That's one idea. Another idea, release all nonviolent drug offenders, and all nonviolent offenders. There's no reason to have anyone who does not have a violent criminal history in jail right now. With COVID, with overpopulation, with the rapes that we know go on in this jail because the staff doesn't actually supervise, you are allowing them to be victimized over and over again. Even not only just for our jail system for the entire country has been a problem. The reason that Julian Assange didn't get sent back to the stateside was because of the fact that our jail system was seen by a European judge as too cruel to subject him to. The same thing goes to our jail. Oklahoma County Jail has been a disgusting, rotting place since it was built. And from the time that you all have been serving on this jail trust, I haven't really seen a whole lot of things that you guys have been doing to actually fix these problems. Continually, we come up here asking you to solve these problems. We try to come up here and be nice and be calm. It doesn't work. We come up here and we disrupt. It doesn't work. So you tell me what we can do to fix this problem.
Thank you very much.
You good?
Yes, Eddie.
The messing with people speaking, public speaking is just ridiculous. And we've brought that issue numerous times. And we're trying to extend our good faith efforts to have constructive dialogue with you all. But the insult to injury here is just, it doesn't help. And if I didn't have, particularly at this time, I'm trying to remain calm because of what happened last week. And I have, Boogaloo Boys and Proud Boys here because Tommy's on your council now. It would be a much bigger issue. And because I'm here with black and brown people, I don't have the ability to just yell about that issue, Tricia. It's ridiculous. I mean, I understand you're the chair, so you're probably just dictating this without consult from the rest of the trust, but that doesn't help things if we want to have constructive dialogue. Let's talk about the jail debts. I've been informed that the phone calls were going to turnkey, and I don't understand that it's not excusable for the phone calls from the jail to not go to jail staff to receive the fact that someone's being beaten to death and that they were muted at turnkey. You guys need, that's why we don't operate with private prison people, because they do things like this that result in loss of life on a much grander scale than when prisons are publicly operated. It's a simple fix, just don't do that. Number 2, I know you need staffing. I know you got other issues that need to be resolved, but you guys have got to stop the bleeding here on the people that keep dying. I'm very simple. When I saw that Prater with the most obscene, saber-rattling, threatening to hold you guys criminally liable for that stuff, I was pissed on your behalf, just because how outrageous that is. I mean, obviously you guys have no criminal liability, certainly civil liability, but not in your individual capacities. And I know, just like you know, that Prater and Elliott are the two that are more responsible for the deaths even than you are, by keeping the populations high. I know that you all know now that you can stop accepting OKCPD's non-violent offenders. And we need that to happen. We need action of strong, and you all have the capacity to take on Prater. He's not as scary as you think, I swear. He's not scary. Go confront him and deal with this man. He's a lunatic, and he's been killing people for decades, or a decade, and you guys have the capacity to stop that. So get your population down to 1,200, get those damn phones fixed so people don't have to scream out of their cell if they're having a mental health crisis. And then, you know what's going to happen? Your legal fees are going to reduce. Because right now, you're about to expend a ton. You've already expended a ton. John, I don't know what. I mean, you got Gable Gottwalls on a renewed contract. You got, what, $250,000 on you and $50,000 on them because Calby's frivolous lawsuit? I mean, what are you guys doing?
Thank you, Jess. All right, I don't mean to mispronounce, but Cynthia.
It's Cynthia Guidry.
Ms. Guidry, would you like to come forward?
Mrs. Guidry is on her way here. She's the mother of the 14-year-old juvenile that is in the custody of the county jail. So if we could move her to the bottom of the comment portion, because it is very critical that all of you hear from her.
Is August here?
She'll be arriving with her mom.
Would you like to speak here next?
Good afternoon, and I'd like to welcome former Governor Todd Lamb back here after a year of being MIA. I'm completely disappointed in you, and it speaks of your privilege and the cronyism that exists within this county government for you to continue occupying a position of power that dictates the outcomes of directly impacted communities who have been for the last year and a half engaged, suppressed, continue to be suppressed by semantics and tactics that you all are playing here to continue suppressing and oppressing the taxpayers and directly impacted communities from civically engaging and having feedback and input and involvement in their own county government. These tactics that you're playing with the commentary, you've been doing them all along, and tragically I learned recently that your incompetent, corrupt, and fraudulent attorney milking the taxpayers of this county has yet failed to create bylaws for a jail trust that up to a month ago wanted to exploit millions of dollars of taxpayers' COVID relief funds. You are incompetent. You don't even have bylaws. My grandmother's community organization has bylaws before they start dictating to the general public how to live their lives and how to spend their tax dollars. All of you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And Mr. John Williams, we're not your milk cow, horse, or whatever it is you all call it. Get a real job. Stop exploiting us. Your legal services are incompetent as they come. If I was desperate as hell, I wouldn't reach out to a man like you for legal assistance. Some of the other issues that I'd like to address is before you start changing the commentary portion, you need to do it appropriately. You conduct a survey. You ask the people who want to engage in their own local government how to best serve and how to best utilize the comment portion. That's how it's usually done. Getting some feedback from the community that's involved.
And make your meetings after 5.
And on the community advisory board, I think that's a great suggestion. If you do it, not in your pattern of practice, which is of all cronyism and filling up your white seats of power with privileged cronies and friends and allies, but actually empowering some of these young people like Adriana Laws, who's a student, who's directly impacted, who's doing the research, like Mr. Garland Pruitt, who's going inside the Oklahoma County Jail prior to the COVID pandemic. And they can actually be a resource to you. On the Research and Recommendation Committee, we did something very similar with the PAC jail program that we ran with Sheriff Gibson out there. We did it all for free. It was a diverse coalition of directly impacted people working with law enforcement and mental health experts to do this work. So don't you dare come in front of us and ask us for funding for that, because the community can provide that work. With that, I know my time is up, but before I sit down, all of you will shut up. You will respect Mrs. Guidry in August. You will allow her as much allotted time as she needs to address the grievances she has regarding her son who went into the Oklahoma County Jail while he was 14. It's coming up to 2 years now, and we must all listen to her.
Thank you. Will you identify when she arrives?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. I was like, wow, you're...
Hi guys, I'm not gonna spend too much time on you today again, Mr. Johnson, because we have a meeting set up for next week. I very much look forward to that. First and foremost, I wanna address the latest death in the jail. I don't know how much more incompetent you can be running a jail where someone in there gets beat to death. His cellmate is calling this person's girlfriend or whoever on the outside, and the nurse's station, and the nurse's station's phone is on silent. You cannot effectively protect anyone that way. If we can't even get a hold of the medical personnel that's supposed to be serving the people in the jail, that's outrageous. I'm not gonna spend much more on that because Prater's already saying you're liable. And Mr. Eddie might feel as if you guys aren't solely liable, but I kind of do, because we've been coming here for months, over half a year now, advocating for the people in the jail and waiting for you guys to do something to better protect those people and individuals, and you haven't. So it is on you, very much so. The minor in the jail, in my role as a victim's advocate, I've recently been able to come in contact with the mother of this child. The story is devastating. Christopher Guidry was put into jail when he was 14 years old, and 2 years later, he's been red flagged with no explanation to himself or his mother. That needs to change. He has been over a year without seeing his family. Y'all need to figure out why that is and undo it now, because he should be able to see his mother. He's a minor. I follow that up to say, anytime a minor comes into your jail, you need to push whatever you can do to get those people certified to be in the juvenile justice system, because our county jail is one of the worst in the country and it's no place for children. Let's see. This public comment, first of all, I want to applaud you, because there's been plenty of times that you changed the public comment rules without actually changing it in the agenda, so I rail on you for that. But y'all actually did your due diligence and changed the fucking agenda today. Good job. It's not right. Everything on this agenda, everything that gets talked about in this meeting should be able to be addressed by the public.
Oh, no, we're
after.
gonna address them. Everyone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. And after you guys have whatever conversation needs to happen, that's when we should be able to address it, before the vote comes, because it's our input that matters. It's our tax dollars that pay for everything on
We're
this
gonna address each
paper.
one of them today.
I mean, at this
We're
point,
gonna address each one of them. Straight up.
he ain't lying. Y'all know how we do, so let's see how this
Straight up.
goes, because 3 minutes ain't enough.
We're gonna
Especially
address
not
2,
for
3, 4,
9
5,
agenda
and 6, whatever on that list. Get ready to lock us all up.
Christopher Johnson?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. As all of us here, we don't come up here for our health. I try to be a representative of my home, my beloved Northeast Oklahoma City. And I find it an absolute travesty of democracy. We should be able to exchange and dialogue. Again, I like to compare that this isn't communist Russia, this isn't some other totalitarianistic nation. We dedicated ourselves to democracy. And not being able to discuss things that we pay for, that we feel the stings of it, especially if you are of certain economic statuses or in certain neighborhoods. You feel every bit of every single sting, more so than most. So I think that this is absolutely abhorrent, especially coming after an amazing holiday about a man and many other people who work for democracy to then step on it. We should be able to address every single item. Number 2, masks. I know that because of the loopholes by our city council, I've addressed this to the mayor himself, I'm asking that there should be some deep consideration of every single person having to wear a mask in here, okay? When COVID attacks you, it does not care what your voter registration card says. In fact, Saturday I came from a funeral. My father's best friend, I knew this man for over 24 years. Staunch Republican, staunch Trumper. Besides all of that, disagreements, he was a good man. He was a great friend to my father. He died of COVID. Masks weren't important, and he is dead now. He was pretty healthy, too. He did have pre-existing conditions, like most people do. When COVID attacks, it does not care if you're a Democrat or Republican. The biological meaning of life is simple: to procreate and to continue its genetic code. And what it does, when it does that, it kills people. That's what it does. It doesn't go, Mr. Lamb, oh, you're a Republican, I'm going to go ahead and skip you. No, it just latches onto you. Or, just using you as an example, sir. And again, I ask that we do better, because there are some important things that are coming up. ICE. It should not take over-explaining of the Constitution you all got here by being very smart people. You do know that the main difference between a citizen and an immigrant is the ability to vote. That is it. That is your basic 101 government class. You should be able to understand what is legally and morally right without severe convincing. Let's do the right thing. They need to be removed immediately.
Thank you, Mr. Johnston. Tim Harper?
Thank you for listening to us and trying to hear us out, but I would like to see us being able to comment after the committee votes so that you can hear what some of the concerns we have are. I've got an idea that's been running through my mind, and I think some people have too, that we do need another annex. We need a jail annex. And since I've worked in jails and worked at that jail and worked in many others, I think we need to build a long-term facility to house people that are going to be in jail for 6 months or more. That way they can have better conditions for being in the jail long-term. I'm thinking something out east in Choctaw, Hera, out that way, because there's a lot of land out there. We have 250 acre plots out there that we could build a single-story jail. You don't have to go up out there. And the land can be bought reasonably, and long-term people go there, so you're not shuffling back and forth to court or anything. After they've been sentenced, that's where they go. And you can have a rec yard, an actual rec yard surrounded, just like more like a prison. That would alleviate a lot of pressure on the jail down there. Also, let me read here. And it would also be easy access from the new turnpike that's out there, the Kickapoo Turnpike. So you don't have to stop every mile. You could get something right off of there. People are wanting to sell some of their land. The emergency buttons in the jail. Are they one button push? Can you access them with your hands in your back pocket? Can you access an emergency on your knees? If you're having to push a button and wait and interact a code into it, if you're having a diabetic reaction, you're not going to be able to do that because you can't think. You're going to be lucky to touch that button and get a response. And I know sometimes when people don't answer, they don't send anybody. And it needs to be responded every time. Last time I was here, I mentioned ACA, American Correctional Association. If you guys haven't checked into that, I suggest you should and get that jail certified, because it'll take all these lawsuits and things off of your shoulders. I've been through 5 ACA audits in jails and prisons, and they have 2 separate audits for jails and prisons, because prisons are held to a little higher standard with stuff like rec and education, because a jail is short term. I'd like to see you guys look into that. If you have questions, try to contact me. I can tell you about ACA audits and what's entailed. And if you guys want to make, these guys behind me want to make changes, go to the committee or the board in Oklahoma that's over jail standards. The jail operates under those jail standards, and they set the bare minimums. And if you want to see things change, that is the people to lobby. And our legislators are going to make it where you have to work with every federal agency, including ICE and the FBI, ATF. That's a bill that's going to run this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. We'll continue on. If Ms. Deidre and or her son arrive, then we will certainly recognize them.
Thank you.
Item number 1, we have the minutes have been attached. Call for a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Comments, questions? Hearing none. Call the vote.
I lost it. I'm
Motion
okay.
passes
I don't
7
need
with
it.
one
I'll step back
abstention.
here.
Item number 2, call for,
It's to protect other people. It's not just about.
to approve
I understand.
item
I
number
don't
2,
think they do because
and
you're
if
saving them without your back.
Mr. McCubbin is available, if there's any questions for him. Otherwise, I call the motion.
Look, I have like 5
It's okay. I'd rather not.
Isn't there a policy
We
that's
haven't addressed item.
Comments or questions?
We haven't addressed number 2 yet. I don't
Hearing
give a
none.
fuck who you think you are, like, you don't give us the opportunity to speak here. We have a right to speak, and I don't give, Mr. Attorney, you need to let this foolish ass woman know that we have a right to speak on every item, man. What the hell are you sitting up there for? To receive taxpayer dollars for nothing? The hell's wrong with you, man? I have a right to speak on this goddamn item. I signed up for it.
This is why you don't do that.
I signed up for it, man. That's what the fuck that means. You don't want me to be goddamn talking about this shit here. Goddamn it, let's get it up here.
You sure? We don't want your token, bro. You sure you don't want one? I could just like twist it.
You're goddamn right, y'all have a right to speak on what you put up here. I don't know what fucking invoices you talking about.
I called the vote.
Are you gonna call the vote? We have a right to speak on it, man. County council commissioners, county court clerk. You have a right to speak on this. Goddamn it, lock me on no fucking day, that's what you do. I mean that. I have a goddamn right to speak, that's what, under citizens be heard, on the
Did you
citizens'
just
right.
coerce a
Motion
vote,
passes
Mr.
8-0.
Lumen? Is that what you just did, bro? You just completely ignored the public and told them to vote anyway?
Look at that, man.
Item
What kind of
number
stuff is
3,
that?
Mr. Williams, would you please give your report?
Well, how's he gonna give, are we gonna speak on this?
No.
Why not?
The opportunity was at the beginning of the meeting.
How in the hell, lady, now we gonna get 3 damn minutes to speak on goddamn 7 or 8 goddamn inches? Have you lost your goddamn mind this morning? You goddamn right, I don't feel like being fucking
Mr.
nice.
Washington,
You went watching my goddamn ass. I don't fucking lock me on. I'm trying to do goddamn idiotic shit, woman. The fuck you think you are around here? That's right, old nice guy fucking over with today. That's goddamn bullshit. We have a right to speak, lady. We have a goddamn right to speak on that. But you took part of the goddamn money or what?
We do.
Mr.
We have a
Washington,
goddamn right to
please
speak
take
on
the time for
everything.
Mr.
He's
Williams to
right.
speak.
He's right.
You know he's
I
right.
don't know why you changed it today.
You doing that on your own. You have a right to speak. It's like you go in any city council meeting, anything, man. We have to speak on every goddamn issue, not the ones that you pick. You tell this goddamn silly ass woman something, man.
I can go to
Any
any other
goddamn,
government
any goddamn
meeting
shit
and
the
speak
public
on
can be
every
heard.
agenda
I would like to
item.
speak on every topic, man.
People are
So you
dying.
gonna just say shit and then make us accept it?
People
You
who are.
know goddamn well we ain't right.
Speak on every agenda.
You know goddamn well it's right. Every city council, any other meeting, public relations meeting, you have a right to have an agenda and you speak on it.
Everybody has a right to
You
speak.
know that, man. You know that. Yeah, you know that. Every citizen, goddamn council, public relations board, every board meetings, you don't just say, here, y'all speak 3 minutes on everything. Are you kidding me, lady?
I know
damn
you
well
all
I'm right.
know that we all attend various
You know that all
government
of-
meetings every week.
3
And
minutes to
every
speak on
time we're
everything.
allowed to speak on every agenda item
You know, trying
that
to
you're
get out of
allowed
here.
to speak on. I don't know why you think the rules are different for you or why you changed it today.
No,
But
that
you
ain't
should
gonna
have
work.
known we wasn't having that shit, Trisha. I don't
No,
know what the
you
hell
know
was
that,
going
you
through
know
your
that, you
mind.
get it, just get people riled
But
up.
you might want to give us public comment for every item.
You know that ain't right. You just get up just to rile something up today, lady. When you
It's time to
you
the
hear me.
question to do some of our action items. Ms. Williams will wait on your report for number 3 and number 4 following
Yeah,
action
yeah,
items.
yeah, hold
number
up. I ain't
5.
spoke on 3 yet.
Just ignoring him?
I ain't spoke on 3 yet.
We are,
I ain't spoke
Glad
on
that
3
there
yet.
are cameras
We have a goddamn right to speak,
recording
lady.
corruption.
You have right, you
I'm
don't
so
know
glad.
why if you that damn
Can you
incompetent,
send me this
you need to be on a
later,
goddamn sanitation goddamn working job. That's what you need.
You need to understand that you have business to do, and you need to let this man speak, let everybody speak
All right,
on
roll
the
up.
items,
What do you
and
think?
do your business.
She knows I'm better. And she been doing it every day. You tell her right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ain't gonna change it today. Every day every time we come in, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4. Write down what you wanna speak on. Oh, I'm changing now? No, not today you want.
Without, what you
You
expect
goddamn
is-
get ready to go and tackle me.
It's been, this
You
is
goddamn
what
go,
we come
Michael
here-
Washington don't give a fuck. You tackle
Everybody
me.
has the right to
You
speak on an
goddamn tackle me.
item.
Let's go with
We
it.
didn't come
including
here
this
for
gentleman.
all
Damn right. You ain't gonna tell no shit on me. And when I know I'm right,
You may not like
put your
each other,
goddamn
but
head
you
on me.
have
I'm
the
a goddamn
right to
follow
speak.
soldier back on the
Everybody.
police and every goddamn body.
Mr. Washington,
Yeah. Yeah, what's up? That's what you know I'm right. You ain't coming to tell you been on goddamn city council meetings and shit before, man. You been on county trust meetings. That ain't nothing new to you. Come on now. And this guy, what the hell is this guy here for? He knows I'm right.
Michael
And then
Washington
you gonna
has
change it
more
all of a
right
sudden?
to speak than Todd Lamb. Give him
Yeah,
Todd
yeah,
Lamb's
yeah.
time.
You know all that
He's
here.
been more
You
invested
know
than
that.
Todd
You
Lamb.
know good and well, man. Man, you up there, what are you advising for? To be idiots? What are you advising for? To be these goddamn stupid ass people? Come on, man, I don't mean to call y'all that, but goddamn you. How else you think people gonna be calm, cool, and collect with that?
And John
you gotta
Williams,
you
there's
gonna
gotta
just
be
disrespect people, right?
competency. None of these
Secrets
issues
don't make
keep
friends,
people
Callie.
rising.
What are you
Under the
talking
Public
about?
Records, Public Meetings Act, we have a right to speak. You don't tell us when you're gonna speak on one thing and that's it.
Just let him speak,
Hell no.
like we've been doing.
Like, what is the?
Stop screaming, unnecessary
It is your
comments.
white supremacy, it is your white supremacy right now that is getting in the way of you doing the right
That's
thing.
your ego.
Your arrogance and ego of doing the wrong damn thing. Accept responsibility, Tricia, and let us speak on the item.
That's what they're for. You
I
don't
respectfully request that we are allowed to continue on with our meeting as
We
the
respectfully
item-
deny that.
We're requesting the right to speak.
We have right to speak.
You would not take away our First
You can't
Amendment
have our
rights.
First Amendment right and of the Public Meetings, Open Record, Open Meeting Act. We have a right to speak on each issue,
Been
not what
asked
you
to go
want
to
us to
move
speak
to
on.
item number 5.
And how are we gonna speak on 3 minutes on
The
every damn
creation
thing
of
you
an
got going?
authority committee to study and
How
develop.
the hell are we gonna do that? Man,
recommendations
that's
on
bullshit.
the-
No, you don't need to create
Bullshit.
shit. You don't need to make no decision, especially not
Bullshit.
this
Moving
one.
forward with
But
voting.
you're public comment.
People
What
die
the
every
fuck is
day.
your
You
problem?
don't want to listen to hear from
You
us.
gonna let us tell that?
You gotta bulldog
The
your way
authority
through it.
create a
You don't let us
committee
wait.
to study and
Hold on, we
develop
don't
That's
fuck
what
that
you
shit.
said.
The hell
You
no.
thought you was gonna get away with this shit.
That's
what you
This
thought.
ain't gonna be a problem. How you run a meeting? Is this how you wanna run a meeting?
You're fucking
This is how you wanna run a
strategy
This is
meeting?
an example of your white supremacy and your
Everybody
hypocrisy.
say you wanna run
And the
a
way
meeting.
that open organization
You don't let us speak on
Five people dead in a month.
We have a right, you know, the rest of us doing what we have a right to do. You have a right to do what we need to do.
No, you can't hear you. Nobody's listening to you.
We have
You
a
need
right
to
to
listen to
speak.
the public.
We have
You
a right
need
to
to hear us.
speak. We gonna speak.
You guys don't know what
We'll
you're
be
doing.
heard.
Got
This is
people dying
totalitarian.
every week.
This is totalitarian government shit. This is what they do in the communist countries, lady. What the hell are you talking about around here? You're goddamn right, you gonna let us speak. I can't believe y'all been sitting and let these men count. As long as you've been on the city council meetings and shit, you already know that we have a right to speak on every item.
What do you
Every
mean?
day,
Committee to
every
create
time
Oh,
it's
so
a
you're
facility in the
trying to
state
tell
of
me, right?
Oklahoma,
The
we
two
have a
partners
right.
in crime, the two
You have
corrupt fucking
goddamn right
officials
today.
who don't do anything
We
to
have a
try
right
to
to
steal
speak
money
today.
from the people. Trisha, don't you
That's
ever
why-
fucking
that's
send
why
me a
you
text
doing that,
message
'cause you don't want to
again
expose
saying
you
you
what
wanna
the
make
hell you
shit
doing wrong
better,
up here.
when right now you're making it worse.
Goddamn
Making it
right.
worse.
I always
Nobody
text you
but
back, I
bullshit.
say, hey, let's
Goddamn,
do
get
some
your-
shit.
get
This
your arms
is
over
not
here
the
today.
shit that you wanna
Get
do.
your goddamn
This
arms
is
over here
not what
today.
we talked
That's what you
about.
need to do.
We talked about making
Fuck that
Oklahoma
bullshit.
County a better place for everyone, and you're
We have a
being
right to be heard.
exclusive
We have
of
a right to be
taxpayers.
heard.
Is
We have
that
a
what
right-
you
How
meant?
the hell?
Right.
Is
That's
that
why
what
we
you
sit
wanted
here
the
and
meeting
talk
to
about
be
three minutes.
about?
Lower the
Is it
We gonna let everybody
inclusion?
else.
incarceration.
You're at
We ain't gonna do
development
that
of
yet.
open-
We're not
asking for a vote, Washington.
You
We're
just
just
asked
asking
us
for
right.
every
You have a
agenda
right to
item.
speak on this
How
shit.
difficult is that? It's every single fucking week there's some new bullshit.
You're not gonna do that, lady.
Every
I don't know
Just
what
keep it
kind of
simple.
problem
It's that
you have in
simple.
your house. You're gonna bring it to the public.
You wanna
though.
take
Same
away
way
our
the
right.
clean
Yeah, what's
up
your
right
marriage
now.
talking about? You
What
can
else
bring
do
it
you
out.
want you to do?
Creation
You
of
can bring
committee.
it
You
out.
have no ability to
Bring it out.
govern
All
right, David. You bet.
Every goddamn issue, that's what you want us. That's what you do in Russia, in communism, in China,
Every time. This is America.
You got to go with that shit, man.
Let them
Everybody
say
knows that's right.
When it's the only way we're gonna get through everything, let them
Goddamn right
speak.
today.
Let them speak so we can get through all of the agenda
Yeah, what?
items.
We got that, we have right to be heard. Let us
Let
be
them
heard.
speak.
The only person with any type of competence and education and qualification to do this job
It's
has
right
spoken.
here.
Yes, yes.
Listen to her.
Keep telling you, we not sitting down, we have a right under the First Amendment and the city code and ordinances to speak, man, on everything. Not what you want, not what this clown attorney let you go through with. Man, what are you setting up there for, John? We
Skipping to an
What the
agenda
hell do you that for?
item that you think is gonna be favorable to them is not gonna work. They still
This
wanna
is not
speak.
my-
Hell no.
They
Why
still
are
wanna
you
speak
doing
on
it on your own?
agenda
You doing it on
item
your
3.
own. Hell no.
I appreciate the comment.
No.
I did not skip to it. I skipped at the request of others to go to action items as opposed to the.
No, you ain't talking about shit.
I have no
You
qualms
ain't talking about
You
shit.
wanna go to the action items to vote and ignore what we're saying?
I'm trying to tell you
Fuck
how you
that!
gonna do it.
Action
Fuck that!
items.
You're not
We
gonna
wanna
get
speak
through
on
one
it.
damn thing!
We wanna speak on them,
We
man.
certainly can go back to item number 3.
Yo, go back to it, goddamn.
Let's do
Go
that.
back to
Go
it.
back in order and let them
Goddamn right,
speak,
go back to
then we
it.
can get through everything.
Then I'll be calm down. I'll be like my regular self. You go back what you need to do.
Did you say you're gonna let us speak,
Yeah.
Tricia? What's your
That's all
answer?
right.
What's your answer? We'll listen.
Damn right. We're looking at not letting
As we're returning to item number 3.
Item number 2, was the
I had
first
asked
issue.
Mr. Washington to step aside so that Mr. Williams could give his
No, you
his
gotta get me
comments
afterwards.
and give his reports. And if you had wanted to make comments afterwards, if you really would like to have made the comments beforehand, it's incredibly disruptive that Mr. Williams can't give his report.
Oh, he
Which
can't.
is why we switched the items to an action item. But if we are able to have Mr. Williams give his report, item number 3.
And then you're gonna let us comment on each item. We're not gonna disrupt his
I
report.
respect that, but please, Mr. Washington, I ask you
No,
to step
agree to
aside.
it.
That's how we gonna speak.
We're trying to turn the tables.
How we gonna
No,
do
Booty,
this?
you had nothing to do with this. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get away from us.
Issue for yourself.
Get the fuck
Oh,
away
you
from
gonna
us,
ain't gonna know our
David.
job? We have a right like
Get out of
everybody
here.
else.
No.
Fuck off, man.
Idiot. What is it with you? This isn't even your committee.
No,
It's
no,
fine, it's
no,
fine.
man.
They're cool.
We are already moving forward. I've allowed the public comment. Please step aside so Mr. Williams.
No, you're
Okay,
not
okay,
moving
okay,
forward
okay,
is that
okay,
you
okay,
don't
okay,
understand.
You
You're
ain't got
not
no
moving
comment.
forward
You
until
ain't
you
got no
agree to
comment.
give us public comment on
You need to
that.
go to jail. So we really need to go to jail. Get that through your head.
Get it up.
Get it through your head.
Damn, let's go.
I can't trust
Fuck
you
that
guys.
shit.
You're not gonna run some bullshit like this.
Hell
Any
no,
fucking
no, you
jail.
ain't right. You ready to go to jail for something we know we have an entitlement?
We don't mind.
We have law backing
We
us.
don't mind being in the
We got
jail with
law
our
backing us.
people.
My brother-
We're there, right?
Something on you, lady.
We'll be there. You ain't in there, that's fine.
You
We're
said
taking
you
us
had
the way you want to
like the
go.
rest of y'all would.
Enough.
So what?
Enough of your license and policies. Enough of that.
Quit making your woman know you know.
Hear me out. You won't even understand.
Okay, what?
Hear
Okay, let's hear you.
it out,
Let's hear
please.
you. Let's hear you.
And to the trustee Ekoroku, it was not to not hear you all speak and to continue on. My request was, if you wanted to comment after the report of Mr. Williams, since it's not an action item, then I would readdress that subject.
Okay,
No.
Jesse,
What an action
What we
item.
need to hear from you is that after every report or every conversation is had on every agenda item, we will get our 3 minutes to speak individually after those items. That's what we want to
You
hear.
know what we want.
Yep, fine.
Okay.
Now let us proceed. Mr. Washington, please step aside.
All right, now I will, yeah, let's do it.
Item number 3.
Mr.
Ms. Williams.
Ridiculous this, man.
Staffing.
I meant that they goddamn locked me up today, and I'm not going perfectly free. That's what I meant.
And we will continue.
Shit,
to
I'm leaving it.
pursue
You heard
our
me speak
staff-
like that. I
our
speak to the
staffing. Right now, we have, as of the first, 4th of January.
Hey,
we
nah,
have
it's not gonna
12
take no shit,
people.
I ain't got to.
7 of those staff are still in their 3rd week of officer training. 5 of those staff were clerks they're on the job now and have started. We do have a job fair on site, our 2nd job fair scheduled, and it's in the process right now of being organized, and more information will be coming about that soon. But we will continue to hire staff and get them trained and get them on the job as quickly as possible. Our COVID report. Again, COVID continues to be one of the things that we are dealing with, and one of the things that are that we're combating every day to keep the spread down and to treat those that do have symptoms. Over the last 14 days, this report is as of January the 15th. Over the past 14 days, we've tested 568 people. One of those were positive. Over the last 7 days, we've tested 335 people, and